Roary was once a human who upon death entered the Deadlands, as all do. He enjoyed it much more than his peasant life in the Livelands and didn't want to be reincarnated. But neither could he idly rest. So he started helping out around the Deadlands, along with the psychopomps. Over time, he has ended up getting pretty single-minded in his task, though, and all aspects of his former self is being lost. And what is his passion in the Deadlands? Music and party planning. This is Julian speaking, and I am very happy to bring to you an exclusive character reveal for the upcoming new Moonstone faction, the Shades of Moonreach. The new faction will be released with a Kickstarter campaign starting this October. All links you can find in the video description down below. Let's have a look at Roary's card, shall we? But first, the usual disclaimer. Everything that I show here is still in development and can change till its final release. Roary is a character that just belongs to the Shades faction, as we can see on the new faction symbol in the upper right corner. He has the spirit keyword, an above average melee stat of 4, and a 1-inch engagement range. His arcane and evade stats are 0. He has 8 health boxes and 3 energy. His passive ability is Summon the Choir. When this model is deployed, you may place a friendly terrible musician in base contact. Okay. We cannot talk about Roary without having a look at this lovely tuba player. Psychopomps are strange, spiritual beings that live in the Deadlands and tend to the needs of the dead, providing entertainment, aid, and solace. As the Shades are pulled from the Deadlands, they bring psychopomps with them in the tide of magic. The Terrible Musician is a psychopomp and a soldier, and has a melee stat of 1, an engagement range of 1 inch, an arcane stat of 3, an evade stat of -1, and just 2 health boxes. The stats are underwhelming at first, but he comes for free if you choose Roary for your troop. The psychopomps are meant to be just an annoyance on the battlefield. Or not? Let's have a closer look. The 2 main abilities to understand psychopomps as Moonstone characters are Psychopomp and Summoner's Delight. Psychopomp basically states that it can just enter play when summoned and activates together with the character that summoned it using his or her energy, similar to Boris and his murder bunnies. Summoner's Delight just makes sure that if the summoner is slain or removed, the psychopomp is considered to be slain. The Terrible Musician is also feeble, an ability we know from some of the fairies. So, what is the big upside? How can the musician shine? It's with a dreadful din ability. Enemy models within 2 inches suffer -1 melee stat and -1 arcane stat. Yeah, sounds exactly like that. Thank you, little friend. Didn't need that again. So a 2-inch debuff aura around him, And remember that when he is also within 1 inch and someone tries to ignore him and attack another character, the effect stacks with another -1 to the melee of the attacker. That is, in my opinion, something to look out for and can create really interesting questions on the battlefield. Do you want to ignore the musician and try to play around the debuff? Or do you try to get rid of him and enable other Shade faction mechanics because a friendly character died? And then he has an arcane ability called Appalling Acoustics. Costs 1 energy from Roary with a 6-inch range, and on any pink card the other model is moved X inches directly away, depending on the card you played. Now that we've seen and heard the terrible musician, we can go back to Roary again. With Encore, Roary can summon a Psychopomp slain this turn in base contact with him, for no energy cost at all. I will reflect on that later on, but that is a wonderful method to keep bringing back your Psychopomps. For 2 energy, he can use Concerto once per turn, an ability that reminds me of Shabaroon. An arcane card is dealt to every friendly character within 6 inches. On any green card, they gain +1 melee and +1 arcane stat, or +X for Psychopomps. On any blue card, they lose Weakling or Feeble, and on a catastrophe, they suffer 2 wounds. That is something to digest. First and foremost, the effect is random, so you cannot really plan around it, but the outcome can be situational very good. Psychopomps with a higher melee stat? Why not? Losing Weakling and being able to grab a Moonstone somewhere? Hell yeah! And sometimes a catastrophe killing, for example, the musician just to trigger other effects, and being able to bring him back immediately? Oh yes! With his last ability, Psychopomp Parade, he can move all friendly Psychopomps within a pulse of 6 inches up to 1 inch, similar to Brother Daniel's Plant the Placard. His signature move, Deafening Blare, is on a high guard. It deals no damage, but moves the enemy model 2 inches directly away, even if the enemy is outside of Roary's engagement range. With a melee stat of 4 and a potential go for it if he keeps the energy, there is a really high chance for him to find at least 1 high guard to move the enemy away from him. Not to think of critical hits, just to move the enemy even further. All in all, I don't want to do a character deep dive here, but Roary, as many other Moonstone characters, has so much to discover, and the more I think about him, the more things I find. He offers support if you want to activate him early to buff your troop with Concerto, or if you can wait with his activation to threaten to bring back a Psychopomp that was slain earlier this turn. And remember, if he brings back a Psychopomp, he is the new summoner, and the Psychopomp can immediately jog back into the action to use Roary's energy because he didn't have to spend any of it for the summoning. I could go on and on and on. I'm very excited about the upcoming Kickstarter and the new faction Shades of Moonreach. Check out the Kickstarter page and all the other great reveals. Links are in the video description down below. If you're new to Moonstone, consider watching a few of my battle reports to get a feeling for the game and support the channel. If you have any further questions, just let me know in the comments down below. I want to thank you for watching and hope to see you soon for another video out of the breach. Rumpf.